Before I start, I want to be really clear. This is not me hating on triathlon. In fact, I love the sport. It's awesome. It's literally my life. But there are some major things limiting it from growing. Before you all comment away, please just watch the video and then feel free to create a debate, comment, do whatever you want down below. But first, just watch it, please. To start with, for me, there is just a complete lack of engagement with Ironman events from people who do not partake or have an active interest in the sport. What I mean by this is that across all of the sports, for example, boxing, golf, football, tennis, and even rugby, a high percentage of those viewers watching are not participants within those sports, but with Ironman, basically it just isn't mainstream enough and bringing viewers from outside that triathlon bubble, which massively limits the exponential growth of the sport. The stats just back this up. For example, over 2021, there were 17 live streams of Ironman events over all of their platforms, equating to 56 million views, compared to 158 million in the UK Rugby Premiership, 4.7 billion in the Football Premier League, and 150 million European streams for the Tour de France. And this lack of engagement for me comes from a few key points. Firstly, I think the live broadcasts are nothing short of a complete shambles. Literally looking like a high school project that someone could produce in a few days. It's just not exciting, it's just not entertaining. The commentating as well is bland, boring, and just disinteresting. It's so predictable what everybody's going to say. In every other sport, it's the commentating that hooks people, it keeps them engaged, it makes them want to stay and watch the actual event. But for me, this just isn't the case with Ironman, and they completely lack in this area. And how can you expect to grow if people aren't getting hooked and engrossed on the actual production that you're putting out? I would personally bring in different people to comment on the races, who could offer different perspectives, viewpoints, and quite frankly, make the race a spectacle. That's what we need. We want it to be fun, entertaining, enjoyable, and just add a little bit of spice to the picture. Continuously, event after event, broadcasters are getting athletes' names wrong, putting in incorrect data, and it's just not very clear what's going on. And again, name a high-profile sport that these sort of things are happening in. I can tell you right now, it happens in absolutely none of them. I think if you take a look at the sub-7, sub-8 event that happened a few weeks ago, this is a great example of where Ironman could and should be. There were live time updates on the screen, the commentary was really fluid, and there was a little bit of banter thrown in there as well. From my point of view, I felt like I was watching something that had been meticulously planned and just executed really well. And if the sub-7, sub-8 event and the Tour de France can do this sort of thing, why can't Ironman? I mean, athletes are literally paying hundreds of pounds to enter these races, so how can they not get this right? Surely this has to be at the forefront of what they need to change. If the Premier League was played on a substandard football pitch at your local park, with absolutely awful commenting and sort of average filming, would people watch it? No. So how can we expect Ironman to flourish in those environments? It just makes no sense to me. Getting someone in like, say, Tom from the Triathlon Mockery podcast, I think would be a really cool option. I think he'd offer a completely different perspective on the sport, look at it from a different lens. You know, he's a professional athlete, so he knows his stuff, and just create a commentary that's really interactive and gets people engaged. I think a fresh and new face is something that this sport needs, and bringing someone in like that, not that it would have to be him, it could be someone like Talbot Cox, and I know he said he'd probably get cancelled if he was sort of on the commentary, but getting someone in that's a little bit quirky, you know, coming at it from a different viewpoint and just creating something that's fresh, new, engaging, informative, you know, covering all bases. I think this would be really mega and something that I think would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? Let me know about this one. Something else I'd consider bringing in is having separate streams of the pro men and the pro women. I think this is something that really needs to change because, or just run the events on separate days. When you're watching these events and you're looking in the comment section of the live stream, everybody's commenting that, why are you not showing this? Why are you not showing that? Why is this not on the screen now? And to be honest, I've got to agree, it seems whenever there's something exciting going on in the women's race, it's showing the men and vice versa. So why not just have separate streams? Then people can watch what they want without feeling that they're necessarily missing out. Bringing it back to the Tour de France or other races, they're not doing this. When was the last time we watched a Tour de France and it was alternating between the men and the women? It doesn't happen. Does it happen with football? No. Does it happen with rugby? No. This literally happens in no other sort of top-end sport because you want to be engaged on one thing versus switching between the two of them the whole time. Look, if they were on separate streams, people could then pick and choose what they wanted to watch without feeling, like I said before, that they're missing out. And to me, this seems like quite a simple solution to keep people engaged, to keep people happy, and to stop them getting bored and just moving off the site and watching something else that they want to do. I'd also add a little bit of data to the viewer's screen. For example, the speeds that these pros are hitting going down the hills, stats that people are often intrigued by and drawn to. In short, mainly making it as viewer-friendly as possible. You know, these are long races and keeping viewer attention must be really, really hard. So why not try and spark added interest and just get creative with the broadcast? Some cool bits I'd love to see is a breakdown of the kit, like an accurate breakdown of the kit that pros are wearing. Not just a sort of a stray comment about, oh, that's a nice Zoot tri suit that Sam Long's wearing. Actually break it down, offer some statistics, information on that thing. Is it more aerodynamic than another suit? Get interesting with it, create a little bit of debate, ask people what they think, and then they can put their answers in the comments, just create a really interactive sporting event. And there's a plethora of other things you could include, things like power numbers, speed data, cadence, using equipment that measures draft differences between riders, and then putting this data on the screen, a bit like in the Zwift Tri-Battle. Granted, some athletes might not want their power numbers showing, and that's fair enough, but you get the gist of what I'm saying here. I personally love how in boxing, you can watch it and have zero knowledge of the sport and still find entertainment in it. I mean, to the point where people are choosing to pay to watch it. And for me, this comes from the chat and the breakdown and all the commenting that goes on behind the scenes. It's informative, it's interactive, it's fun and engaging to watch. And personally, I really think Ironman needs to take a leaf out of this book. I would love to see big exhibitions in triathlon, a bit like the sub-7, sub-8 event, drawing in lots of new audiences and making it mainstream. For example, in the last 10 days, this has had 250,000 streams on YouTube, compared to the World Championships only having 177,000, and that was over a month ago. So clearly this type of event is more engaging to see, and it's what people want. Granted, it's not an official race, and I understand that people will want to watch fair, official races, if you want to call it that, but I don't see how you can't make an official race engaging, interactive, the same way as a sub-7, sub-8 event was. For example, you could create ultimate relays in Ironman, where you get the best of each individual discipline. I've done another video on this, so take a look if you want to look at it in more detail. But fundamentally, you're just getting the best athletes in each discipline, putting them together and making an incredible relay. Can we go sub 6 hours in an Ironman? Imagine the likes of Gano, Remco, Dowsett, Kipchoge. All of these guys were in one race. It would be incredible. You'd have so many interested people coming to see. It would spark interest. It would be insightful. It would just be like the ultimate race. Now, I'm not saying this would be easy or cheap to do, but it'd certainly be one hell of a race. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Ironman just has so much potential and room for growth. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I think the broadcasting and commentary fundamentally needs to change. Let's make this top-notch stuff, bring in some real entertainers, and take it from there. Look, I'm not going to go on and on with this stuff. If you've made it this far, that's absolutely awesome. Just let me know what you think on these sort of things. Is this a problem with Ironman? Does something need to change? Fire away in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to see what all of you guys think. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.